Hello students, welcome to the lecture on materials management, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Understand the concept of material management and its scope, define integrated waste management, explain inventory control or management, understand the purchasing system, describe ergonomics, human engineering, discuss on store management, explain the term codification. Describe the concept of value analysis. Let's start with the introduction to materials management. Material management is simply the process by which an organization is supplied with the goods and services that it needs to achieve its objectives of buying, storage and movement of materials. Materials management is related to planning, procuring, storing and providing the appropriate material of right quality, right quantity at right place in right time so as to coordinate and schedule the production activity in an integrative way for industrial undertaking. The material requirements planning, purchasing, inventory planning, storage, inventory control, material supply, transportation and materials handling are the activities of materials management. Let us now understand the concept of materials management. Materials management is a total concept having its definite organization to plan and control all types of materials, its supply and its flow from raw stage to finished stage so as to deliver the product to customer as per his requirement in time. This involves materials planning, purchasing, receiving, storing, inventory control, scheduling, production, physical distribution and marketing. Materials planning and control. Materials required for any operation are based on the sales, forecast and production plans. Planning and control is done for the materials, taking into account the materials not available for the operation and those in hand or in pipeline. This involves estimating the individual requirements of parts, preparing material budgets, forecasting the levels of inventories, scheduling the orders and monitoring the performance in relation to the productions and sales. Purchasing. Basically, the job of a material manager is to provide to the user departments right material at the right time in right quantity of right quality at right place from the right source. To meet these objectives, the activities undertaken include selection of sources of supply, finalization of terms of purchase, placement of purchase order, follow-up, maintenance of relation with vendors, approval of payments to vendors, evaluating, rating and developing vendors. Stores. Once the material is delivered, its physical control, preservation, minimization of obsolescence and damage, though timely, disposal and efficient handling, maintenance of records, proper location and stocking is done in stores. Inventory control. One of the powerful ways of controlling the material is through inventory control. It covers aspects such as setting inventory levels, doing various analysis such as A, B, C, X, Y, Z, etc., fixing economic order quantities EOQ, setting safety stock levels, lead time analysis and operating. Scope of materials management. Materials management strives to ensure that the material cost component of the total product cost be the least. In order to achieve this, the control is exercised in the following fields: material planning, purchasing, storekeeping, inventory control, receiving, inception and dispatching, value analysis, standardization and variety reduction, materials handling and traffic. The function of material planning department is to plan for the future procurement of all the required material as per the production schedule. There are 4 basic purchasing activities: selecting suppliers, negotiating and issuing purchase orders, expediting delivery from suppliers, acting as liaison between suppliers and other company departments, and looking for new products, materials and suppliers that can contribute to company objectiveness. Stock level. The responsibility of receiving, inception and dispatching department is to receive the materials when delivered by the suppliers. After receiving it, the quantity and quality must be checked. Cost. It also reduces the number of varieties and also helps in finding the substitute for the materials at lesser cost. Materials handling section is responsibilities for the transport of materials to various departments. There are 4 basic traffic activities: selecting common or charter courier and routines for dispatch or shipments as required, training inbound shipments of material in short supply as requested by production control or purchasing, auditing invoices from couriers and filing claims for refunds of excess charges or for damaged shipments when required. Non-production stores. Techniques and procedure used to control non-production material, office supplies, perishable tools and maintenance, repair and operating supplies resemble those used for production material, although they are usually less elaborate. Maintain physical stock of non-production items to be drawn on as needed for operation or maintenance. Manages inventories of non-production materials and prepares purchase requisitions for needed materials when stocks drop to the reorder point. Integrated concept. In an integrated setup, the materials manager is responsible to exercise control and coordinate with an overview that ensures proper balance of conflicting objectives of the individual functions. Advantages of integrated materials. Management organizations which have gone in a big way for the integrated materials management usually enjoy the following advantages: better accountability through centralization of authority and responsibility for all aspects of materials function. Clear-cut accountability is established. This helps in evaluating the performance of materials management in an objective manner. Better coordination. When a central materials manager is responsible for all function, the departments under the material manager create an identity which is common. This results in better support and cooperation in the accomplishment of the materials function. The user departments also find that they have to approach one department for discussing and solving the materials problems. Better performance. As all the interrelated function and integrated organizationally, greater speed and accuracy result in improved communication. Need for a material is promptly brought to notice by materials planning. Adaptability to EDP. The centralization of the materials function has made it possible to design data processing system. All information with regard to materials function is centralized under the integrated materials management function. Miscellaneous advantage. Under a centralized materials manager, a team spirit is inculcated and this results in better morale and cooperation. The opportunities and exposure available for the individual for growth and development are better in an integrated setup. Now moving on to the next topic, we will now study the integrated waste management. Integrated waste management is a systematic approach that uses multiple methods to control and dispose of waste. It emphasizes in prioritize order source, reduction, reuse and recycling efforts. The goal is to divert as much solid waste from landfills as possible and to minimize other methods such as reincineration that harm the environment, reducing the amounts of goods that are used as a single most effective way of managing waste. Commodities that are never manufactured do not result in waste products. Reuse. Local governments should implement procurement programs that purchase durable, non-toxic, energy-efficient products made from recycled content and that can be easily deconstructed and recycled again. Recycle. Create recycling initiatives that divert all reusable materials into a form that is most efficient for its next use. Recycling programs include composting of organic waste in addition to the remanufacturing of durable goods. Benefits of integrated waste management. The benefits of integrated waste management include greater service coordination of procurement and waste management among local government departments and agencies can lead to more efficient service delivery and cost saving. MSW is a clean waste stream that requires less processing. Revenue for local governments from the sale of recyclable materials in the commodities market, strengthening and expansion of both local and national economies. Comprehensive waste stream analysis. Waste characterization or waste stream analysis are methods used to determine the types of materials being discarded in a waste stream and in what proportion. With this information, officials are equipped to implement material management policies effectively, monitor compliance and measure result. The cost to perform a municipal waste stream analysis depends largely on the length and scope of the study. If a city cannot afford an extensive research process, they can perform a simple characterization and diversion study. Extended producer responsibility policies. Extended producer responsibility EPR policies are based on the idea that the polluter pays. EPR policies are designed to share the cost of a product's environmentally sustainable disposal with manufacturers and a consumer. This can be achieved by integrating environmental costs into the final product price or holding manufacturers liable for end-of-life costs associated with reuse, recycling, and disposal.
In today's society, we oftentimes dispose of waste without thinking about where it ends up. But where does our waste really go? It can often end up here or here. But most of our waste ends up here, a landfill. Food packaging today mainly consists of paper, plastic, and styrofoam, and is only used for a short amount of time. This results in food packaging taking up 1/3 of municipal solid waste in landfills. Unfortunately, many times recyclable materials are also thrown into the trash and go to the landfills as well. We need to stop using the environmental harmful packaging that cuts down trees or uses oils. Instead, we need to start using packaging that is compostable. There are plastics made from potato and corn derivatives and are 100% biodegradable. The first step is to take action. Go to places that use compostable food packaging, and if they don't already, encourage them to switch over. We need to discontinue our current cradle-to-grave system and transition to the cradle-to-cradle system, which puts nutrients back into the Earth's natural system.
Payment of the invoice. When the goods are received in satisfactory condition, the invoice is checked before it is approved for the payment. The invoice is checked to see that the goods were duly authorized to purchase, they were properly ordered, they are priced as per the agreed terms, the quantity and quality confirmed to the order, calculations are arithmetically correct, etc. Maintenance of the records. Maintenance of the record is an important part and parcel of the efficient purchase function. In the industrial firms, most of the purchases are repeat orders and hence the past records serve as a good guide for the future action. They are very useful for deciding the timings of the purchases and in selecting the best source of the supply. Maintenance of vendor relations. The quantum and frequency of the transaction with the same key suppliers provide a platform for the purchase department to establish and maintain good relation with them. Selection of suppliers. Selection of the right supplier is a responsibility of the purchase department. It can contribute substantially to the fundamental objectives of the business enterprise. Different strategies are required for acquiring different types of materials. The selection of supplier for standardized products will differ from non-standardized products. Following factors are considered for the selection of suppliers. Sources of supplier. The best buying is possible only when the decision maker is familiar with all possible sources of supply and their respective terms and conditions. The purchase department should try to locate the appropriate sources of the supplier of various types of materials. A survey of the following will help in developing the possible sources of supply. Specialized trade direction, assistant of professional bodies of consultants, the buyer's guide or purchase handbook, the manufacturer's or distributor's catalog, advertisement in dailies, advertisement in specialized trade journals, trade fair exhibition. Development of approved list of suppliers. The survey stage highlights the existence of the source. A business inquiry is made with the appropriate supplier. It is known as inquiry stage. Here, a short listing is made out of the given sources or suppliers in terms of production facilities and capacity, financial standing, product quality, possibility of timely supply, technical competence, manufacturing efficiency, general business policies followed, standing in the industry, competitive attitude and interest in buying orders, etc. Evaluation and selection of the supplier. The purchase policy and procedure differ according to the type of items to be purchased. Cost factors, price, transportation cost, installation cost if any, tooling and other operation costs, incidence of sales tax and excise duty, terms of payment and cash discount are considered in cost factor. Delivery routine and FOB terms are important in determining the point at which the title to the goods passes from vendor to the buyer and the responsibility for the payment of the payment charges. Design and specification factors, specification compliance, specification deviation, specification advantages, important dimension and weights are considered in line with the demonstration of sample, experience of other users, other sales services, etc. Legal factors. Legal factors include warranty, cancellation, provision, patent protection, public liability, federal laws, and reputation compliance. Vendor rating. The evaluation of supplier or vendor rating provides valuable information which help in improving the quality of the decision. In the vendor rating, three basic aspects are considered, namely quality, service, and price. Development Project Committee of the National Association of Purchasing Agents has suggested following methods for evaluating the performance of past suppliers. The categorical plan. Under this method, the members of the buying staff related with the supplier, like receiving section, quality control department, manufacturing department, etc., are required to assess the performance of each supplier. The weighted point method. The weighted point method provides a quantitative data for each factor of evaluation. The weights are assigned to each factor of evaluation according to the need of the organization. Quality rating. Price rating is done on the basis of net price charged by the supplier. The cost ratio plan. Under this method, the vendor rating is done on the basis of various costs incurred for procuring the materials from various suppliers. The cost ratios are as certain, delivery, etc. Let's now discuss about inventory control or management. Inventory generally refers to the materials in stock. It is also called the idle resource of an enterprise. Inventories represent those items which are either stocked for sale, or they are in the process of manufacturing, or they are in the form of materials which are yet to be utilized. The interval between receiving the purchased parts and transforming them into final products varies from industries to industries depending upon the cycle time of manufacture. It is therefore necessary to hold inventories of various kinds to act as a buffer between supply and demand for efficient operation of the system. Reason for keeping inventories. There are many reasons for keeping inventories. So to stabilize production, the demand for an item fluctuates because of the number of factors, example seasonality, production schedule, etc. To take advantage of price discount. Usually the manufacturers offer discount for bulk buying, and to gain this price advantage, the materials is bought in bulk even though it is not required immediately. Thus, inventory is maintained to gain economy in purchasing. To meet the demand during the replenishment period, the lead time for procurement of materials depends upon many factors like location of the source, demand, supply condition, etc. To prevent loss of orders, in this competitive scenario, one has to meet the delivery schedules at 100% service level, means they cannot afford to miss the delivery schedule, which may result in loss of sales. To avoid, the organization have to maintain inventory. To keep pace with changing market condition. The organization have to anticipate the changing market sentiments, and they have to stock materials in anticipation of non-availability of materials or sudden increase in prices. Meaning of inventory control. Inventory control is a planned approach of determining what to order, when to order, and how much to order, and how much to stock so that costs associated with buying and storing are optimal without interrupting production and sales. Inventory control basically deals with two problems. When should an order be placed? Order level. How much should be ordered? Order quantity. Objective of inventory control. To ensure adequate supply of products to customer and avoid shortages as far as possible. To make sure that the financial investment in inventories is minimum, that is to see that the working capital is blocked to the minimum possible extent. Efficient purchasing, storing, consumption and accounting for materials are important objectives. To maintain timely record of inventories of all the times and to maintain the stock within the desired limits. The benefits of inventory control are improvement in customers' relationship because of the timely delivery of goods and service, smooth and uninterrupted production, and hence no stock out. Techniques of inventory control. In any organization, depending on the type of business, inventory is maintained. When the number of items in inventory is large and then large amount of money is needed to create such inventory, it becomes a concern of the management to have a proper control over its ordering, procurement, maintenance and consumption. The different techniques of inventory control are ABC analysis, HML analysis, VED analysis, FSN analysis. ABC analysis. In this analysis, the classification of existing inventory is based on annual consumption and the annual value of the items. Hence, we obtain the quantity of inventory item consumed during the year and multiply it by unit cost to obtain annual usage cost. ABC classification. Once ABC classification has been achieved, the policy control can be formulated as follows. A item, very tight control, the items being of high value, the control need to be exercised at higher level of authority. B item, moderate control, the items being of moderate value, the control need to be exercised at middle level of authority. HML analysis. In this analysis, the classification of existing inventory is based on unit price of the items. They are classified as high price, medium price and low cost items. VED analysis. In this analysis, the classification of existing inventory is based on criticality of the items. They are classified as vital, essential and desirable items. It is mainly used in spare parts inventory. SDE analysis. In this analysis, the classification of existing inventory is based on the items. GOLF analysis. In this analysis, the classification of existing inventory is based sources of the items. They are classified as government supply, ordinarily available, local availability and foreign sources of supply items. Inventory model. Inventory models deal with idle resources like men, machines, money and materials. These models are concerned with two decisions: how much to order, purchase or produce, and when to order so as to minimize the total cost. For the first decision, how much to order, there are two basic costs are considered, namely inventory carrying cost and the ordering or acquisition cost. As the quantity ordered is increased, the inventory carrying cost increases while the ordering cost decreases. The order quantity means the quantity produced or procured during one production cycle. Economic order quantity is calculated by balancing the two costs.
A purchasing system is a method used by businesses to buy products or services. A purchasing system manages the entire acquisition process, from requisition, to purchase order, to product receipt, to payment. Purchasing systems are a key component of effective inventory management in that they monitor existing stock and help companies determine what to buy, how much to buy and when to buy it. A popular purchasing system is based on economic order-quantity models. Purchasing systems makes the purchasing process more efficient and helps companies reduce supply costs. Computerized purchasing systems can cut companies' administrative costs, shorten the length of the purchase cycle and reduce human error, thereby minimizing shortages. They can also simplify order tracking and make it easier to manage purchasing budgets by quickly creating expenditure.
The following are some of the important purchasing system: forward buying or committing an organization far into the future, usually for a year, depending upon the availability of the item, the financial policies, the economic order quantity, the quantitative discount, and the staggered delivery. The future commitment is decided. This type of forward buying is different from speculative buying, where the motive is to make capital out of the price changes by selling the purchased items. Tender buying. In public, all semblance of favoritism, personal preferences should be avoided. As such, it is common for government departments and public sector undertakings to purchase through tenders. Private sector organizations adopt tender buying if the value of purchases is more than the prescribed limits as rupees 50,000 or rupees 1 lakh. The steps involved are to establish a buyer's list, solicit bids by comparing quotation and place the order with the lowest bidder. However, care has to be taken that the lowest bidder is responsible party and is able of meeting the delivery schedule and quality requirements. Blanket order system. This system minimizes the administrative expenses and is useful for C-type items. It is an agreement to provide a required quantity of specified items over a period of time, usually for 1 year, at an agreed price. Deliveries are made depending upon the buyer's needs. The system relieves the buyers from routine work, giving him more time for focusing attention on high-value items. It requires fewer purchase orders and thus reduces clerical work. It often achieves lower prices through quantity discounts by grouping the requirements. Zero stock. Some firms try to operate on the basis of zero stock, and the supplier holds the stock for these firms. Usually the firms of the buyer and seller are close to each other so that the raw materials of one are the finished products of another. Alternatively, the system could work well if the seller holds the inventory and if the two parties work in close coordination. Rate contract. The system of rate contract is prevalent in public sector organization and government departments. It is common for the supplier to advertise that they are on rate contract for the specific period. After negotiation, the seller and the buyer agree to the rates of items. Application of rate contract has helped many organizations to cut down the internal administrative lead time, as individual firms need to go to the central purchasing departments and can place orders directly with the suppliers. Reciprocity. Reciprocal buying means purchasing from one's customers in preference to others. It is based on the principle, if you kill my cat, I will kill your dog, and do unto your customer as you would have them do unto you. Other things like soundness from the ethics and economics point of view being equal, the principles of reciprocity can be practiced. The word ergonomics has its origin in two Greek words, ergon meaning loss. So it is the study of the man in relation to his work. It is called by the name human engineering or human factors engineering. Human engineering defined as the application of human biological sciences along with engineering sciences to achieve optimum mutual adjustment of man and his work, the benefits being measured in terms of human efficiency and well-being. The human factors or human engineering is concerned with man-machine system. Stores play a vital role in the operation of company. It is in direct touch with the user departments in its day-to-day activities. The functions of stores are to receive raw materials, components, tools, equipments and other items and account for them, to provide adequate and proper storage and preservation to the various items. Value analysis is defined as an organized creative approach which has its objective the efficient identification of unnecessary costs which provides neither quality nor use nor life nor appearance nor customer features. Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. Material management is a total concept having its definite organization to plan and control all types of materials, its supply and its flow from raw material to finished stage. Integrated waste management is a systematic approach that uses multiple methods to control and dispose of waste. Just as time, GIT, manufacturing is a philosophy rather than a technique by eliminating all waste and seeking continuous improvement. Inventory generally refers to the materials in stock. It is also called the idle resource of an enterprise. Codification is a process of representing each item by a number, the digit of which indicates the group, the subgroup, the type and the dimension of the item.